From hanging to with rock stars to calling College Station home, 72-year-old Jim Paris has had quite the life, and now he's putting it into writing. Zach Summers shows us how this former music producer's relationship with a rock star helped shape his new book.
It's amazing what an old stack of journals can sometimes lead to.
You get into the busy schedules, and you start going into, oh my God, all this was happening.
72-year-old Jim Paris has lived in College Station with his wife for close to a decade, but his life hasn't always been slow-paced as he now describes it. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, Jim worked in Hollywood and San Francisco as a music and show producer.
It was the first ever rock and roll concert at the Palace of Fine Arts.
But some of his most memorable experiences in the music industry are those with rock vocalist and drummer Buddy Miles. Jim first met Buddy at a club in 1969, a year after Buddy recorded his signature song, Them Changes. The two continued to run into each other over several years until eventually Buddy asked Jim to work with him.
And we went into the now world-famous Sound City Studios and recorded Roadrunners as a tax shelter album to keep them out of legal problems.
The band toured all across North America, but Buddy couldn't stay out of trouble.
He had no real respect for the law, because he's a rock star.
In one last effort to save the artist, Jim poured all of his money into one last album. Sneak Attack would never reach its full potential. Buddy once again found himself in trouble, this time though facing hard time for drugs.
I had gone through all my finances. I lost my first wife because of that. I had to send my daughter to live with her because of that, and so it became a really difficult time in my own life.
Jim would go on to work with other artists like Chico DeBarge and Lita Ford before leaving the music business altogether and settling down with his wife, Lynn, of 22 years. As for his past life, Jim says if there's anything he misses, it would be the freedom and openness of that time period.
That innocence, I certainly miss, because I wasn't afraid to just be who I am.
In College Station, Zach Summers, KAGS HD News.
Well, if you're wondering, Jim and his wife actually landed in College Station after she got a job working on the redesign of the George Bush Presidential Library. You can read Jim's full story on his new book, Them Changes. He's holding a book signing this Saturday from 4 to 6 at the Barnes & Noble in College Station. A pretty cool story right there.